The Tuesday edition of the Art Lewis Show. Later on, I'm really looking forward to this 10 o'clock interview because Dave Kepler will be with us. He heads up the Four Lakes Task Force, responsible for rebuilding the dams and relaking the lakes, if you will, reopening the lakes. Looking forward to chatting with him. At 11 o'clock, Barb Smith will be with us from the Suicide Resource and Response and Resource Network. Talking about their Walk for Hope coming up on August 2nd. All of that is ahead this morning. We'll also hear from Terry Henney picking blueberries. But in the meantime, for this hour, open phones, 989-752-6111. Whatever you'd like to chat about, we'd love to talk to you. And Jonathan Dent is holding forth. He's in the newsroom doing multiple tasks, but when available, he will join us, too. I don't know if you heard this or not, but at least at the moment, the 27th, coming up Monday, is the day they plan to open the new Gordie Howe Bridge, which has been waiting for traffic now for several months. Some sticking points between the U.S. and Canada held it up, but now they have apparently agreed to a series of cooperative measures focused on toll governance and transparency, as well as investments in the region, including through the establishment of a 15-year economic development fund tied to a portion of profits from the bridge operations. So it looks like it's ready to open. It's a deal between the two countries, the U.S. and Canada. Remember, Canada paid to build the bridge. So at the same time, the president slaps a 50% tariff on some Canadian goods.
What a coincidence.
I'm at a loss. I don't know what to say. As much as I like Trump's policies, I've never quite liked the man, but that's beside the point. I don't understand some of the things he does sometimes. It just seems to me there could have been a better time, maybe no time, I don't know. Our closest ally, our closest trading partner, all of that. And I don't understand it. I'm going to admit it. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
Me either. And they're not going to go into effect for 30 days, and my guess is between now and the 30th day, we'll hear the president say, well, I'm going to suspend those while we talk or whatever, which is what will happen. So why bother in the first place? It really does. I'm gobsmacked. I have no idea. None whatsoever. Just one of those things you have to question. I mean, and here's my reality. This is the world I live in. I don't see things through one-sided glass. I don't just look at them from the Republican or conservative perspective or the liberal Democrat perspective. I look at them through my lens, and I like to call my lens common sense. My common sense may not be yours, but that's the way I view things. And even when I see people who I support do something I don't support, it's incumbent upon me to say so. Otherwise, what am I, just a mouthpiece spewing what only one side wants to hear? I don't do that. Never have, never will.
And I don't know when we talk about the bridge in Detroit specifically here, because this is kind of important. We look at the ownership of the Ambassador Bridge and their political donations to President Trump. Even if that's not the reason behind these things, it certainly doesn't look good.
Yeah.
With the
old
opposition to the Gordie Howe Bridge, yeah.
You know the old saying, does it pass the smell test?
Exactly.
I just, again, I shake my head.
And that's the kind of thing you see when you look through the lens of common sense.
Exactly. You know, here we have a bridge. In a way, it's a gift because Canada paid for it.
Yeah.
And first, the president withholding opening the bridge. He wanted more from Canada. You know, and, well, how much more do you want? They paid for the darn bridge. 100%. So maybe the first several years of tolls ought to go to repay.
That being said,
Yeah.
we are getting the short end of the stick when it comes to the tariff deal going on with Canada.
Are we?
It's been going on for a while now with certain goods, so
Well,
I can
yeah,
see I can see Trump's position on that, trying to even things out a little bit more. But that's been an ongoing back and forth for a while.
Here's my problem with it, Jonathan. Rooms are built to sit down and talk in.
Yeah.
Let's have some conversation. Let your trade envoys sit down with their trade envoys and hammer it out. And, you know, it just seems to me that, yeah, we have a trade deficit with Canada. Okay, let's try and fix it.
Yep.
But why do you have to tick off everybody to do it?
Because Trump needs to be involved personally in everything so that he can claim credit for everything.
That's partially true. All right, let's talk to, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
Is this for real?
Yeah.
All right. We have William with us this morning in Cebu City, Philippines. Is that right?
That's correct. That's correct. We're 12 hours ahead. So it's tonight, Tuesday night.
Well, good then.
Just after 9 o'clock.
So you're 12 hours ahead of us. So tell us what our day's going to be like.
Hopefully not smoky. I understand the smoke is cleared up.
It's decreased considerably. Yeah, but it's still around.
That's good.
So you are proving the point of the stream being worldwide.
Yes. You mean the. Anyways, what I really want to talk about is just say that too much today. You know, was it Abraham Lincoln that said, "A house divided cannot stand," and there's just too much neighbor against neighbor, even in families. You know, you go through the holidays, and it's just really sad to see. And we forget that we're all Americans, and you know, to respect one's opinion, but also to the right to have that opinion. And we're losing that. It's just getting to the point of getting physical in some cases.
Yeah, I agree. And to me, and I've said this many, many times in my life, one of the things that makes us different as a nation is one word: tolerance. And that is, you have tolerance for those you disagree with. You can verbalize that tolerance or intolerance, if you will. But in the end, you have to have tolerance against those whom you disagree with, because if you do not, and you interfere or take away with their ability to speak, you do the same to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And I've always felt that way.
As they say, always taste your words before you spit them out. You know?
I
like
that
that
before. I like that.
About it.
I like that. So what are you doing in the Philippines, William?
So, I am married here. I've been here now for 2 years.
No kidding.
And, you know, yeah. And I had an opportunity. I'm 65. My wife is just turned 60. And love it here. There's a lot of things. The food costs are about 40%. There's fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, and there's supermarkets. I'm in a city that has almost 1 million people, 955,000.
It's a big city.
And and the murder rate was up to 4 last year. from 2 out of almost 1 million people. And you look, and not to say anything bad about Saginaw. I was born in Saginaw. Is that you asked what the murder rate in Saginaw is, and it's 44 per 100,000, and here we are almost 10 times that in population.
Yeah, that rate has gone. That rate has gone.
We
down.
have a tenth, and we have a tenth of the murder rate.
Yeah, but
So,
our rate has gone down here. Our rate in Saginaw has gone down substantially.
There's huge cultural differences there
and
too.
there's huge differences. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can tell you the rate has gone down. Homicides have been down
Okay, well, that's
terrifically over the
That's
last
good
several
to
years.
hear. I love Saginaw. Like I said, I went to North School when it was still in elementary, before they tore it down. Yeah, my dad was a fireman there and a policeman for a
excellent.
week.
A week.
And then he got hired back in '67. He got hired into Midland, and I grew up in Midland there, but still always had relatives in Saginaw.
We're glad to hear from you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Thank you. Call anytime.
I listen to you, and thank you. I listen to you whenever I can. I can't listen to the afternoon show because it's the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But I do get to listen to Coast AM in the afternoon at 1 o'clock.
Wonderful.
George Noory.
Very good. Well, William, we'll look forward to hearing from you anytime.
That would be great. And thank you for doing such a great job.
I appreciate it.
Mentoring the public. I really appreciate that.
I appreciate it. Thanks for calling. Have a great day.
Thanks, Art.
Or a great night.
You too.
Bye-bye now.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
The power of the Internet.
Yep.
How about that, Jonathan?
Yep. We've had
Cebu, the Philippines.
We've talked with William via email before about the morning team he listens as well. So
excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. I would take a break, come back. We'll get to Mike and Rachel when we return. Let me take a moment to talk about one big negative we have, and that's potholes. We've talked about them before. They get fixed, they reappear, and if you hit enough of them, you can damage the alignment on your car. Our friends at Quick Lane Freeland on the McDonald Ford property in Freeland are offering you a complimentary alignment check, and I had them do that to my vehicle the other day. Fortunately, I got all greens. Everything came out perfectly in alignment, and I was very happy about it. Took about 15 minutes, and it's an amazing technology. Prints out a report, shows you the degrees of camber, cast, toe, and all that stuff. And, it prevents you driving off with problems that you may not know you have, which can wear out your tires. As a matter of fact, rather than me tell you what poor alignment does, here's John from Quick Lane Freeland.
If your vehicle's wheels are aligned correctly, it will not pull to the left or to the right when driving. It also prevents improper tread wear, so your tires last longer. A wheel alignment should be checked often because normal steering wear and tear can cause your alignment to go out in addition to potholes and railroad crossings. A correct alignment also reduces rolling resistance on your tires for better fuel mileage.
And, of course, better safety, too. It all happens at Quick Lane Freeland to ask for their complimentary alignment check. And while you're there, if you need tires, take a look at their huge selection. Remember, they sell all of their new tires at just $5 over cost. Quick Lane Freeland on the McDonald Ford property in Freeland. Stop in, visit them today.
I'm talking to attorney Jerry.
All right, we're back with you. Art Lewis, Jonathan Dent with me too this morning. And let's get back to our phones. Mike is in Bay City. Mike, good morning.
Well, good morning, Art.
Morning.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep, you're fine.
Good. I just tuned in your discussion about the bridge opening between Canada and the question of was it coincidence about Trump imposing tariffs almost simultaneously. I thought maybe an answer to that question might be also his recent, I don't know what you want to claim, about all the smoke and wildfires. He said that he was going to impose tariffs. I don't know what the man can do, but
nothing.
I think that was his response anyway.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe that was a rationale.
Well, that's not. It's not very rational because there's nothing he can do about the smoke. You know, I mean,
Right. Yeah. I don't know what can, really, what
Somebody-
can we do?
Somebody called the other day, wanted to know why they weren't up there putting out the hot spots when they see them. There were 850 fires in Canada, 850, plus some in Minnesota. So the reality is, you're not going to set them all down. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
We live in
just
a real-
started in recent years.
Yeah, and it has. It's been recent years, and we've seen this before.
Yeah.
So it's,
So
is it? I don't know. And I also, we look at California and we blame them for poor land management, farm management, and all that stuff. Canada, a lot of where these fires are happening, it's just a vast, unpopulated territory. How do you manage it? You can't really scrub it to prevent fires. I don't see how you can do it.
Yeah. Well, there's been a slew of arrests made for the arson, but
Well, the
catching
arson,
ones.
arson is one thing. That's separate.
Hmm. Well, Brian Perret was arrested for setting 13. He was just one. But catching these people in the dense forest, that's almost impossible.
Yeah.
And then when they spread, like you say, the wild, there's a crowning from treetop to treetop. So
Yep, and it's
anyway,
dry
I
timber.
just thought that was I don't want to take a lot of your
Yeah.
time, Art. I just thought
No
maybe that
problem.
was a possibility.
Hey,
So,
always
Hey,
good to hear from you. Thanks.
yeah, thanks for the show.
You bet.
Uh-huh.
Bye-bye now.
And that also coincides with some of Michigan's lawmakers sending letters to Canadian authorities, basically asking for some more to be done. But
What do you do?
what do you do?
How do you do it?
Yeah. But that shows that it's not just, if it is related to the smoke, which it might be, it's not just Trump, it's other Republicans from Michigan here.
Yeah. Well, they're blowing smoke because nothing.
Yeah.
Let's talk to Rachel in Bay City. Rachel, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, guys. I wanted to call to talk about Larry Rodarte's show from this past weekend.
Yeah, I heard it.
I was pretty surprised that ended up on the air.
Why? Just another view? Is that any different than us sitting here giving our views?
A view in opposition of ICE.
I beg your pardon?
His views in opposition of ICE.
Well, he's
Immigration
entitled to them.
enforcement.
He's entitled to them. I may not agree with him. I don't agree with him.
My views are in opposition to the ATF.
Oh, that's because you don't like to pay taxes?
Never-
No, alcohol, tobacco, fire.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like, it's allowed.
All right. Okay. Hey, that's, you know what? If you guys are all for that, that's wonderful.
No. Here, Rachel.
I'm not.
But this impacts you though. Because if we
Sure
take
does.
it does, because if we take away his right to speak, then we have to take away yours.
Each show and each person that appears and talks on this station comes with their own unique background and perspectives. Because someone speaks on our station, that does not mean they speak for our station. They don't speak for anyone else on our station.
You're promoting what he promotes.
Well,
I'm really surprised I'm surprised that you have chosen to do that.
we're
And
not
allowed it.
promoting
That's
anything.
what I'm
We're
surprised
allowing
about.
him to speak his mind. And if you don't agree with him, there's an off knob on your radio. That's what it's all
Right.
about. And if we take
Right.
him off the air because you don't like what he's saying, we have to take you off the air and me off the air and Jonathan off the air because somebody doesn't like
I'm
what
not-
we're saying.
I'm not on the air ranting for an hour.
You are. You
It's
call in
just
anytime you
immigration
call in.
control and enforcement.
Anytime you call in, we give you a platform. This is a privilege. It's not a right.
You're missing the point here. You're missing the point in the boat.
No,
All
you're
right, the
missing.
point
You're
is
missing the
that
point.
he
The
is-
point is free
He
speech
spent
is
an
free
hour
speech.
ranting in opposition to ICE,
Yeah,
and I'm really surprised that you guys promoted that.
we didn't promote it. He did.
That's all. I just wanted to call and let everybody know that. That's all.
Good.
I'm really
Fine.
surprised. That was the show this weekend. Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye now. Understand, folks. We don't censor these shows. You do. And you censor them with the knob on your radio or the button on your car. That's how these things are censored.
And I'll say I don't agree with Larry on a lot of things. I like hearing those perspectives. I like
Well, I
hearing.
want to hear what he had to say, but my problem with it, as I have with most anything that are unbalanced, was at no time did I hear him say anything about the fact that these people came in illegally.
Yeah.
Didn't mention that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I totally disagree with what he said. But if we take away his voice, then we lose our voices. That is what goes back to what I said earlier about tolerance in this country. You have to have tolerance for those you disagree with, because if you shut them down, you shut yourself down.
And I'll say, not as someone, as a listener, as someone who consumes media, I want to know what opinions are out there that are contrary to mine.
Exactly.
Because those people don't like me any more than I like them. So it helps to know what's out there and think through, how do I respond to this?
You know, there's an old saying, and this is a strong word for this, it may be too strong for it, but there's an old saying, know thy enemy.
Yeah.
Well, all right, I want to know what my enemy, my
someone who I have
political
opposition
enemy
to.
or opposition, I want to know what they're thinking. How else would I react if I don't know what they're saying? So, I don't know. Anyway, we'll take a break, come back. When we come back, we'll talk to Michael in West Branch after these notes.
Thinking Kia? Think Dalen Kia.
Lewis and Jonathan Dent on this Tuesday morning. Michael is in West Branch. Michael, you're on WSGW. Good morning.
Good morning, Art. Good morning, Jonathan. How are you?
Good.
Great. Yesterday, you had one of your frequent callers on the line. From what I've heard of her, she's very sweet, very kind, very compassionate lady. She made the comment, and it was her position, that the president does not have a heart in regards to how ICE is conducting their location of individuals. I would counter, Art, that President Trump has the biggest heart of any president in my lifetime, probably multiple lifetimes, because he's trying to protect American citizens, whereas Democrats are not. They are. You have sanctuary cities. You have sanctuary states.
Yeah.
You had Tim Walz the other day, who pardoned a convicted rapist of a 10-year-old little girl multiple times.
Yeah, Walz is a piece of work.
Exactly. He came out the next day to justify his actions. So here's another thing, Art. This lady in the Democrat Party, if they knew of the horrors that have happened at the hands of illegal aliens, I would bet every nickel I've got, and I've got a lot of them, that they would never heard of Laken Riley, a nursing student in Georgia, whose life, her head was crushed. Jocelyn Nungary, a 12-year-old that was raped and murdered by illegal aliens. How about Rachel Morin? I would bet everything I've got. They've never heard of those. Those families will never have peace.
Well, they choose to ignore it. You know, it's
Art. Well, that's another discussion. Another time I'll call in. But Art, the media will talk 24/7 about deaths from people who are impeding ICE's actions. They'll talk all day and all night. But I would bet that most of them never covered deaths by illegal aliens of American citizens.
No, that's not true. No,
Art.
that is not true. First of all, you know about it, and
I know about it because I watch other media sources that CNN's not going to cover that.
So
ABC and NBC and CBS are not going to cover
that. The major networks have covered them.
Rumble all day, Art. They're not.
They haven't covered them to the extent that Fox has. Let's put it that way. But the fact is, they have mentioned it. It's not been on the news.
Fact, Art. Listen, Art, there's another fact I can give you. 95% of the coverage of the president is negative, okay? And that's part of the problem.
Yeah, well, I understand that.
Okay, but the lady that calls in frequently, she would be horrified if she knew about those three ladies. I would bet everything I've got, and most of these people do not know about people being raped and murdered and killed. Biden let in 15 million plus or minus a million. 13,000 were convicted murderers. 13,000 convicted murderers and 15,000 committed sexual assault. Okay, and they lost 450,000 children that had been sex trafficked. And how many times they raped when they're coming through the border?
And that was all in the news.
not covered enough, Art, because obviously
Well.
the sweet lady that calls in, if she knew about it, I don't
All
think
right.
her position would be the same.
Well,
Do you think?
I
would disagree because half the country will disagree with you.
I'm going to hop in and say
Hop in,
I
John.
see where you're coming from, Michael. Yes, those things were covered, but the issues where people are, and I think it's important to note, these people who are getting into trouble with ICE agents, it's because they're interfering with law enforcement activity.
Right.
It's not ICE agents busting down the door and killing people. It's people interfering with law enforcement activity who are getting hurt and getting killed and escalating those things.
And let me also say
And
something else.
let me
say
finish
something.
here.
Go
Let me
ahead.
finish here,
All right,
Art.
Go ahead.
And the media is giving a heck of a lot more attention to those instances. I won't say they're not covering the other ones, but they're giving way more attention to those instances than they are to these
All right,
other
and
things.
let me point one other thing out. Just as there is in law enforcement, there are a few bad apples in ICE. And they get all the negative news, and that's what the media loves to portray. In the same way that we hear about police officers that step out of line and overuse their power, there are those ICE agents that probably do the same thing. They don't represent the tens of thousands that are out there doing their jobs every single day in a
Here's
tough
another
world.
thing, Art.
Real quick. Go ahead.
Obama deported 3.1 million. He didn't deal with the sanctuary cities and sanctuary state situations. If the local law enforcement cooperated with ICE, they wouldn't have to go out in neighborhoods and search for these individuals.
No, obviously.
Then you wouldn't have the problems.
Yeah. All
They're
right.
letting criminals out. They're protecting criminals over American citizens, and that
Right.
should not happen. That's why this president has the biggest heart of any president in my lifetime.
All right, Michael.
End of
Appreciate
story.
the call.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
Take care.
Mhm.
Bye-bye
Bye.
now. Quick break. We'll be back. We'll get to Carl and Lou when we return.
Jeff Gronsky here with Auto Bright.
All right, we're back with you. Time limited. So we got some callers stacked up here, so we'll try and keep them brief. And this is Carl in Saginaw. Carl, good morning.
Good morning, Art and Jonathan. Art, I heard something I think you might appreciate, this saying, I live in the present because there's too much time behind me and not enough time in front of me.
I love it. That's so true.
I thought that was from Louis C.K., the comedian. Did you see this story about the Homeland Security Department? They're talking about cutting terrorism funding to states and local police departments because they're not cooperating with what the department wants
they're
them to do.
Talking about mostly sanctuary cities and areas where they've been
Right.
working against ICE.
Right. So,
Well, that,
yeah. So is that would be defunding the police?
Well, I'm never in favor of defunding the police. However, there should be, in my opinion, consequences for defying federal law.
So this would be a policy that's going to defund the police.
I just said
because
I
they
am
don't
not in
agree.
favor. I said I'm not in favor of that, but I do believe there should be some kinds of consequences.
I'm going to hop in here because
Yeah.
this is using a buzzword and twisting it in a way. The defund the police movements were done at a local level. People in municipalities demanding that the municipalities who have that authority over the police department rip it out.
And they all regretted it.
And they regretted it. The federal support that state and county and other departments get is not their main source, and it doesn't have authority over them. The federal authorities can't say, you don't get a police department anymore. The municipalities make those decisions, and largely they're kind of the same areas that are running into these issues.
Okay, well, that idea of defunding the police, a lot of people, that meant there should be changes made to the way policing is done.
No, a lot of
It
people
didn't
thought they should get
mean-
rid of them. There was a
Well,
lot of talk about
so
that.
if
Then
you're
why
gonna
didn't they
take-
say reform
you're
the
gonna take
police?
people- Well, maybe they should have said reform the police.
Yeah.
Maybe that doesn't have quite the punch to it. But you've got other callers. I just wanted to make the point that
All right.
I guess it's the eye of the beholder, Art. So thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye now. And let's go to Bay City and talk to Lou this morning. Lou, good morning.
Good morning, Art. I'm going back to Canada and the smoke for just a minute.
Sure.
Number one, most of those fires are started through lightning, and when it goes down the tree, it goes into the roots, and they said 2 days later, you've got a fire.
Yep.
And number two is the Canadians have bought some more tankers and helicopters. And I have fished Canada, and I've been up the Ranger Lake area and come by a wreck that was on the side of the road. And we got the lake camped out. It was dark. A car pulls up, and the OPP says, have any of you guys seen a wreck here? Which was about 6 hours before us. So there's such a distance.
Yep.
And a lot of those places, there's a lot of those places they can't even get into.
Yeah, Canada's huge. It's vast. It's a vast land, and a lot of it is wild.
Well, yeah, everything, roughly 100 miles north of the border is just wild.
Yep.
So, people don't understand it if they haven't been up there, and I feel bad for the Canadians.
Well, the same, and I have to tell you, I feel bad for Californians when it happens in California. I mean, I feel bad for anybody who's caught in that. And I feel bad for us. We have to deal with the smoke. So, what are you gonna do?
But California, they can kind of control things because it's a small area. But Canada,
yeah.
You start a fire there and you won't catch it.
Yeah.
Just like up
in
northern Michigan.
All right.
Have a good day.
Good enough, Lou. Thanks. Last call is going to be Tim in Midland. Tim, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen. Tim here, former Republican, critical thinker on the line. I
love it.
Had some good calls this morning. I've been tuning out the news lately because it's just making me depressed. I got to be honest with you.
You're not alone.
I'm disgusted. But one thing you said earlier, Art, is you don't like Trump, which I don't like either. And Michael called and said Trump's got a big heart. I'm like, I don't think you could find Trump's heart with a microscope. But you like his policies. Can you tell me what policies you like?
I like the fact that he closed the border.
Okay,
that's one. I mean, listen, I measure every individual not by the party they're in, but what.
Me neither.
But well, good, and I measure them by what I think they will do for the country. At the time,
Agreed.
I thought Trump was a better choice for the country.
Right,
and that's my
talking about
that's it. That's how I look at things, and I don't.
Right.
And
I got it.
Now I have to tell you, and you've listened to me long enough to know I've never liked the man. I'm a New Yorker. I knew about Trump a long time ago. He's very self-centered. He's a narcissist. He's got all those qualities I don't like as a human.
Right. Exactly. But what I'm saying is he sold the American public, which he's a con man. That is what he is. He's a con man. He sold the American public on a lot of promises. And I liked what he was saying, too. 100%.
Well,
if he follows through on what
I'm going to interrupt for time here because we're out of it. But the reality is, if he's a con man, every politician is a con man because they all sell us on a bill of goods and then they get in office and nothing happens. So
bingo.
I got to go, Tim. We're out of time. Thanks, buddy. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Yep.
Jonathan, thank you much. As always, we appreciate it. Coming up, we'll talk to Dave Kepler from the Four Lakes Task Force. The news is next.
I'm talking to attorney Jerry